We'll go ahead and get started with Joe Chats from On Tap Sportsnet.
Thanks, E. Thanks, Greg. Congrats on the performance. Greg, how did it feel to get that fast start on the road and just to see out a victory after, getting that punch back early on as well?
Yeah, we know that they're an aggressive attacking team, and they put a lot of pressure on your penalty box. So we knew we could expect that, but we also knew that their midfield really has to shift to cover the wide spaces. So the idea was to get it from one side to another, and we did that on the first goal. And it was really good play, really good understanding from the players of how to hurt them.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Alex Calabrese from Men in Red 97.
Hey, Coach. Congrats on the win. Sorry I couldn't be there today. Wanted to ask about Kouame. Obviously, his first appearance for the club. Just want to know what your messaging was to him, putting him in for his first appearance of the season, and what it means for him playing like that and getting that goal.
He was excited. He's waited a long time to make his debut. You could see how much the team was pulling for him in the locker room just now, celebrating with him and really excited for him. He's had a long road to get to this point, and he certainly made an impact in the game today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Jim Alexander from Real Talker.
Hey, Coach. Great win. You guys obviously, Vancouver had more possession. They had more shots, but you guys had more shots on target and the quality of shots. And I wanted to ask you about the last few weeks, the quality of shots the guys are getting on the goal. They're putting up really good shots. What can you attest that to?
No, I think we're patient enough to find the right spaces and then get the ball into areas that will hurt the opponent. We have some good players. They know how to make the difference in the final third, and you can see with the type of shots we're getting.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Tim Hotsey from Men in Red 97.
Hey, Greg, congrats on the win. So Philip Zinkernagel kind of started with a little bit of a slower start, a goal and assist in this match. What did you make of his performance?
No, he was the coach's man of the match for his contribution. We know what Philip can do. He's an outstanding player. And, as he gets into form, I think you're going to see him score some goals.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Alex Campbell from CHGO.
Hey, Greg, congrats on the win. Calling in from the WLSAM 890 radio booth this evening. Wanted to ask you about Leonardo Barroso, a guy who was very involved in the two big chances early in this game, but also had a pretty big challenge up against Jaden Nelson in that first half. I wonder how you evaluate his first start.
Yeah, his defending is exceptional. His 1v1 defending. We did preseason and played against LAFC, and he was going against Belongo 1-versus-1, and he holds his own. So, really pleased for him in that area. And then offensively, really smart ball behind their back line, which led to an opportunity or led to the first goal. And, we wanted to switch field, which means the fullbacks were going to have a lot of touches. And, we still want to continue to develop him in that area because we think he can make a major impact.
Thank you. We'll go back around. Joe Chats.
Yeah, thanks, E. Greg, that Berhalter kid on Vancouver was pretty involved. I'm curious how you processed that whole event for you and your family this evening.
Every time there was a set piece, I held my breath because he puts in such good balls. It's kind of annoying. I was hoping he was going to miss-hit a couple of them, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But, we got everything here. We got aunts, uncles, grandparents, siblings. Everyone's here for the game. And, thankfully we won, so I don't have to buy dinner.
Thank you. Safe travels.
Thanks.
Thank you. We'll go back to Alex Calabrese.
Coach, so you're coming out on the light at the end of the tunnel in terms of the injury crisis. Kouame coming in today, Tedan, Borso back on the bench. But the guys who have been those replacements have taken their opportunities, Sergio, Sam, others. Is this a good problem to have now when guys like Guti and Acosta come back as well, and you're going to have to pick who's going to start?
Definitely. To win in this league, you need a deep squad. You need quality. And, for these guys to get the opportunity and take advantage of it, guys like Sam Williams, Justin Reynolds today, it means a real lot. They get the confidence to help the team.
Thank you, and safe travels.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. We'll go back again to Jim Alexander.
Coach, on that goal for Vancouver, what did you see? It seemed like sort of a miscommunication that he got sort of in front of the ball and everyone was sort of searching for the ball. Was that players losing their positioning or the ball sort of sight of it? What did you sort of see on what happened there?
I think that we wanted to avoid the middle. We wanted to draw them into the middle and then avoid the middle and go wide. And we didn't do that. On this play, we went central where they had their numbers and they won the ball. And the boy makes a nice finish. You got to give him a lot of credit for the finish, but it was really a silly mistake from us.
Thank you. We'll go two more. Tim Hotsey, and then we'll end with Alex Campbell. Tim?
Hey, Greg. So one thing that we saw today, there were a lot of sort of hack. It was a very physical game at different points. I wanted to know kind of your opinion about some of the plays that we saw, especially there was in first half stoppage time, a play where Bomba went down for a couple of minutes because of goalie way off his line, kind of doing a tackle. And I wanted to read on that play and just what you thought of Vancouver's physicality.
Well, it's a physical game. And, that was my message to the team at halftime was we have to embrace this physicality. We have to be better in duels. I think we did improve in the second half, but, you can see how committed they are and how much aggression they play with. And you have to match that. And, if you want to get something out of the game. So, I have nothing wrong with a physical game as long as it's, well fought and honest in the challenges.
Thank you. Alex Campbell?
Greg, I can't believe we've gotten to this point in the press conference without talking about Hugo Kuipers, a guy who, we know is a good goal scorer, a guy who gets in the box. We see it on that first goal. But tonight in particular, and throughout the start of the season, it feels like he's been a really complete striker. I wonder what your thoughts are on what we're seeing from him, and also got to be curious what's on the menu for dinner post-game, given that you've won the family bet.
Vancouver has some wonderful restaurants, and we're certainly going to take advantage of that. But we have there's a place called the Beijing Duck House, and it's fantastic. I think it has.
And he offered it.
I think it has 1 Michelin star, but really good place, and that's what I'm going to choose. In terms of Hugo, though, Hugo is he's the man on the spot. We provide balls for him, service for him, and he finishes them up really calmly and collected. But not only that, he works really hard. We still want to work with him on, when he's coming down, how he's linking up play and how he's able to bring players into the game. But, really happy with Hugo and his effort and his attitude and his mindset. I think this is the first time in 16 years that the club has won 3 games on the road, and it says a lot about this group and their mindset.